Well, here we are. Welcome back to Comfort Food for Thought. It's your friend Chris James here. It's Thanksgiving. We'll do a special episode today. The idea of gratitude and giving thanks for all the good in our lives it's the kind of stuff we talk about anyway, right? Let's do it. Let's get on with our spiritual conversation. And as we always do, we're going to look into the metaphysical and spiritual side of life. We're going to look at the areas of life where the spirit world touches our world. It's more than you think. Oh, and as we go into the holidays here, it's worth saying we're not here to debate religion or argue about whose spiritual beliefs are right or wrong. As I often say, I'm just putting food for thought out there. It's up to you to decide whether it resonates with you or not. And if something isn't working for you, it's okay to set it aside. It's all good. No matter what, you have to follow your own heart. You have to find your own truths. You have to walk your own path. Thanksgiving. This is one of my favorite times of the year. The beginning of the holiday season. All that good stuff. It's all in front of us. All that delicious food, all the good times with family and friends, all the traditions. I'll tell you one thing. Back in the day at my parents' house, gathered around the table, debating religious and spiritual ideas, that was the order of the day. It was actually one of our traditions. I don't know if we meant to do it, but it happened, especially after a few cocktails. We had some rowdy Thanksgivings. We had quite an array of religious beliefs around our Thanksgiving table on any given year. We had Christians, Jews, agnostics, spiritualists, atheists, Buddhists. Oh, we had a lot of fun. We had some great times, and none of that stopped us from enjoying each other's company. Didn't matter. We all loved each other. During these days, and I'm talking, we were in our early 20s here. My brothers and I would spend the early part of the Thanksgiving day out in the woods. We had this special spot down by the brook where we dragged a few big logs to serve as seats, and in the middle, there was a spot for a campfire. Now, this was way, way back in the woods. So to get there, we had to follow a path that led along the edge of a brook. Led to this kind of secluded area where the stream cut through these steep high banks. It was overshadowed by towering oaks and a huge old sycamore tree. We'd been hanging out in this spot since we were kids. We spent many, many days and nights down there, sitting around the fire and, just talking about anything, everything. Now this sycamore tree, this thing was over 20 feet around. We measured it once. We figured out that it had to be over 350 years old. It was the biggest, oldest tree in the woods. That thing was there when the Native Americans were still living and hunting in these woods. So it was kind of sacred to us. We often wondered about the stories that tree could tell. So this was a really beautiful part of New Jersey. Up beyond the far bank were open meadows and cornfields. Beyond that were more woods, beautiful stands of maple and groves of hickory and beeches. It was a really magical spot, great place to grow up. And this was back when so much of coastal New Jersey was still farmland, forest. It was easy to see back then why they called it the Garden State. Anyway, we'd head down there on Thanksgiving every year. We'd bring a backpack full of Moosehead beer and a couple of packs of hot dogs, and we'd make a campfire, roast hot dogs on sticks. We'd talk and laugh, and we'd anticipate all the good food that was cooking at home. Oh, and it was a peaceful time, too. There were moments where we just sat in silence, enjoying each other's company, enjoying the warmth of the fire. Just staring at the dancing flames and the glowing coals. Oh, so good. And twilight would be coming, and we'd be listening to the crows calling to each other up in the cornfield. Watch the autumn leaves floating by on the brook. As night began to fall, we'd put the fire out, pack up, and head home for Thanksgiving dinner. The woods would really be dark by now, and it would feel cold after sitting around the fire, but even in the dark, we knew our way. We knew every path, every tree in that woods. And we'd get back to the house, and then the party would really get started, with the whole family now. Oh, and now we were fueled up and ready to debate religion at the dinner table. Can you see it? Youth. We had a lot of laughs, a lot of passionate debates, a lot of cocktails. But If I'm telling the truth, we didn't feel too good the next day. Oh no, we paid the price. Believe me, we did. Even then, we might have overdid it a little. Now, oh, forget it. I don't think I've had a beer in, I don't know, over 10 years. Now I get a headache after like 2 sips. But I had my share. I definitely had my share. So I'm very thankful to have those youthful times with my brothers and my family. So much fun. We all live far away from each other now, and we each do our own Thanksgivings with our own families. So things change. Time goes on. And I'm also very thankful we got to spend so much time at our spot back in the woods. We didn't know it then, but even that was temporary. I remember one spring morning I was taking a walk down there, and there was a bulldozer sitting in the middle of where the cornfield used to be. Land was all ripped up, and so many of those beautiful trees. They were cut down, torn up, lying in a big pile by the edge of the field. By the end of that summer, those beautiful fields, woods, and meadows, it turned into a housing development. So that was the end of that. Well, we had a good run. We had a lot of good times down there. We had a lot to be thankful for. That's something to think about. In this life, the times, the people, the places you love, hate to say it, but they're temporary, Nothing's forever. Time marches on. People change. Places change. The world changes. We have to be grateful for what we have in the moment. Because while things often change slowly, they change. So we have to be thankful for all the different roads we've traveled, all the beautiful places we've been. We have to make the best of every moment. Be good to each other, so we have no regrets when we look back. As the Quaker missionary Etienne de Grelais said, "I shall pass this way but once. Any good that I can do, or any kindness I can show to any human being, let me do it now. Let me not defer or neglect it, for I shall not pass this way again." Well said, Etienne. This is something to think about. Being present, being in the moment, taking advantage of each moment to do the best we can, to do good for others, to be kind. Every day of our journey in this life is unique. We live each day, and each day fades into the past. We pass through each day but once, and we shall not pass this way again. So this is a good habit to get into, to be grateful and thankful for the good in your life, the good in each day, the unique beauty of each day, even if it's simple little stuff. Take nothing for granted. And as Etienne so eloquently said, spread love and kindness. Give others gifts that they can be thankful for. And this is a great time to think about all the people who have done good to you, all the people who made you who you are, the people who helped you with your journey, the people who brought love and laughter to your life. These are great gifts. Anyway, I was thinking about all this stuff, and so earlier this week I went back. I went back to the woods, back to the old paths along the brook. I walked all the way to the spot we used to have our Thanksgiving bonfires. The big sycamore tree was still there. I thought about how we'd added to its memories. We'd added to the things it had seen that were no more. Through the trees I could see a house up where the cornfield used to be. Some family was probably getting ready for Thanksgiving over there. But in my mind's eye, I could still see the land as it used to be. The logs we used to sit on, circle of rocks where we used to make our fires, the meadows and the woods up on top of the bank. All these things, they were gone. They were gone without a trace. I have to admit, I felt a tinge of sadness. Sadness that those old days were gone. But I felt thankful too. I felt thankful for what had been, what we had, those magical, youthful, carefree times. But I think what I mourned more than anything was the fact that the place didn't quite feel the way it once did. I'd come here hoping to find it again. I wanted to reconnect with the past and find that old feeling. I walked down the paths, but the feeling was elusive. I don't know, maybe I was searching for my younger self. I know this happens sometimes at the holidays, where you can remember how it felt as a child, and you you want to find that magical feeling again, right? You want to feel it, feel the wonder the way you once did. So I don't know, maybe I was walking too fast. Maybe my mind was thinking too fast. Maybe I was letting the changes and the time that had gone by get to me. Maybe instead of seeing all that was unchanged, I was grieving for what had been lost. I was grieving my old woods and my old fields changing. And I guess I was grieving myself changing too. I mean, I'm not 20 years old anymore. My 20s are a distant memory. My brothers are far away. I was now here in this sacred place, alone, and certainly not carrying a backpack full of beer. Anyway, at one point, I stopped to rest, and I sat down on a log by the brook. And I sat there a long time. I just sat there, watched the water flow. I watched the autumn leaves floating by on the surface, just like I used to. I listened to the quietness of the woods, and I heard the crows calling and the squirrels rustling in the leaves, the sound of the brook, the wind in the trees. I was thankful for it. It was still here. I was still here. I looked at the sunlight shining through the late autumn trees. I felt the warmth on my face. I could smell the scent of the dry leaves in the spruce trees up by the bank. I could smell the irony smell of the water. It was all still here. Each sight and sensation seemed to remind me that it wasn't gone. In the moment, I felt thankful for all of it. And you know, something started to happen. Suddenly, I started to feel like I was 13 years old again. Or maybe I just felt ageless. I don't know. All the adult worries and cares seemed to slowly melt away. I had found the feeling I was looking for. It wasn't gone. It was still as beautiful and unique as it had ever been. It was me that had been too rushed, too preoccupied to feel it. But now, sitting there in silence, the way I used to as a kid, just sitting by the brook, I suddenly felt reconnected to my old childhood place in a way I hadn't in years. I could feel the soul of the land. It wasn't gone. And it's going to sound funny, but I almost felt like it welcomed me back. And I was deeply thankful for that. I was reminded that gratitude does not have to be some big thing, some big outpouring of thanks, The best kind of gratitude is quiet and simple. I was thankful for all that stuff, for the brook and the woods and the afternoon sunlight, for the autumn smells and the memories I carried with me in this place. It was simple, and in that simplicity I felt content and at peace. So this is a thought for you on this day devoted to thankfulness. Remember the Happy Book? Now, if you missed this, go check out episode 1. We talked about making a happy book, which is really just my name for this, making a list in a journal or whatever of all the stuff that makes you happy. Simple stuff, like I've been talking about, the sunlight in the autumn woods or the smell of dinner cooking. Simple, uncomplicated things. That stuff is very important. It's easy to be thankful for. It's a good exercise to get you to slow down and, appreciate life. Slow down like I did that day and meditate on all the simple stuff. Simple, beautiful, happy things in life. And through doing this, you're going to reconnect with your own true self. You're going to rekindle those old joys and find those old feelings that are still within you. And when you slow down like that, live in the moment, and experience the richness, the present moment, you're going to find there's more joy to be had, more little things for your happy book, more things to be thankful for. Well, it's getting late. I got to get down to the kitchen and get to work. Bet you do too. But let's go into this day in peace, whether you've got a house full coming or whether it's going to be a quiet day of reflection. I wish you a blessed and joyful Thanksgiving Day. Hope the day is filled with good feelings and good memories and making new memories. If you're going someplace today, safe travels. Be patient with each other. You'll get there. It'll be fine. All right? May Spirit inspire and protect you, and may you have abiding peace and joy till we meet again. Have a very happy Thanksgiving, my friend. I'll be back soon.
You've been listening to Comfort Food for Thought with Chris James. For more information and links to our social media, please visit us at our website, www.comfortfoodforthought.com. Thanks for listening.